Welcome back to the arena. I'm Michael Cora. Now, it's almost certainly a myth that Viking helmets feature those horns, and also that their longboats had those huge animal heads at the front. Probably just not true, but they were certainly notable and terrifying warriors. Now, while their legacy is partly noble, I suppose, it's also been exploited by some rather vile people. Scandinavian fascists, they adopted, for example, the name Viking youth. Now, I say all this because a young woman named Bethany Paquette, a graduate of Trinity Western University, was denied a job to work in Canada's north for the Amarok Wilderness Corporation. I know, I hadn't heard of them either, because she claims they are, well, vehemently anti-Christian.
So I'm going to the Human Rights Tribunal because what happened to me was really wrong. And I mean, I'm a Christian, I went to Trinity, and I don't want other grads, other Christians, or even other people in different religions to have to go through anything similar to this, whether it's with this company or other companies. And so even if I'm going to have a hard time going forward, I'm still going to go forward.
Now, the company argue, what a surprise, she was underqualified. But they also wrote that, and we're quoting here, unlike Trinity Western University, we embrace diversity and the right of people to sleep with or marry whoever they want. Very moving. Trinity, you may remember, is at odds with various law societies, well, there's two really, over its policy of not allowing students to engage in sex outside of marriage, and at the same time not accepting same-sex marriage. Olaf Amundsen, if that picture's doctored, it must be from Amarok, however. Look at those eyes. He went much further, boasting that he and his colleagues were Vikings. He said, quote, "Most of us actually see Christianity as having destroyed our culture, tradition, and way of life." And then he went on, "I do not want to be blessed by some guy who has been the very reason for the most horrendous abuses and human rights violations in the history of the human race." He called Jesus, forgive me by the way, the son of a whore, and said he would F him if he met him. Ah, lovely, lovely fellow. Now, Paquette has filed a complaint with the BC Human Rights Commission. Ezra Levant spoke to her lawyer earlier today on The Source.
If you give two reasons for refusing to hire someone, and one might be legitimate in terms of qualifications, but the other is clearly discriminatory in terms of religion or attending Trinity Western, that the decision as a whole is discriminatory. And I have every faith that the tribunal will find accordingly.
The rest of that interview, by the way, will air later on tonight. Now, the letter, it was filthy, vulgar, bombastic, moronic. That's obvious. However, if they'd lied to Paquette and merely told her that she wasn't qualified or the position was already filled, that would have been the end of the story. That's how bigots have managed to exclude black people, Jews, gays, and others for generations, you know. Now, obviously, angry to the point of irresponsibility, the people at Amarok, they spoke their minds, as empty as those minds might be, and they revealed themselves in all of their absolute repugnance. But let me ask a few questions, push a few buttons here. Let me think and speak outside of the box. First, the very people who support Trinity Western tend to reject the idea of human rights commissions. Is it hypocrisy to use them now? Second, if Trinity Western will not accept gay people involved in gay relationships, why should a company with a strong gay culture accept people from Trinity Western? Third, would Paquette have felt comfortable leading a tour composed of people who may have been gay, holding hands with their partners, even kissing them? Fourth, is it really persecution when someone is not given a job with a tour company? Or is persecution what occurs in the Middle East and Pakistan and North Korea, where Christians are beaten, arrested and killed? Fifth, have Christian companies ever refused to hire people who are publicly atheist? And lastly, is it really Christian to stand up for your rights or simply to turn the other cheek? The point I'm making is that while the people from Amarok sound like unutterable bores and gutter bullies, they have rights too. Not the right to compose obscene letters to a young woman, but perhaps the right to guarantee that their employees and customers feel comfortable and accommodated. Now, of course, they will have never acted like this with a Muslim applicant, because they would have been frightened of violence, accusations of racism, and of losing their left liberal credentials. But that's not really the point, is it? Look, as a Christian, I wouldn't be seen dead dealing with Amarok, but I believe the solution is to ignore them. But you see, I'm mostly Anglo-Saxon, and we hated the bloody Vikings.